welcome to our first episode of Mic Check 1 2. I'm so excited to be the one starting our first Socials podcast. Through the episodes, we will be inviting industry guests and even out of industry to join us in discussion and topics that are interesting, or it could be whatever that you guys leave a comment and we'll discuss it through the different episodes. So to kickstart this episode, a common and vital starting point for all of us is talents. Okay, so today's episode is called MICE Talent Puzzle. We all know talent is our cornerstone, and also yet finding hard and getting harder to keep the right people in the industry. So this is the puzzle that we're trying to fix here and try to understand more from the different industry people. So to help us find this missing piece, I'm joined with an incredible trio from an emerging award-winning talent from our Singapore MICE Award in 2025, and a seasoned educator and a powerhouse leader in brand activation. So let's get into it. But maybe a first round of introduction, the famous trio. A round of introduction, your name, your role, and how did you land up in this industry? Maybe you start with the youngest, the emerging talent.
Okay, hi everyone, I'm Jia Ying from Marina Bay Sands, currently in the corporate meetings and incentive team. So we do promote the Sands Expo and Convention Centre, the iconic landmark in Singapore. So actually how I came about in the industry is I actually studied hospitality business in SIT, specializing in MICE, and I embarked on my internship journey in a trade show which is ITB Asia. So after that, since then I actually had my mind fixed in joining the MICE industry already. Reason being because I feel that it's actually a piece of thing, it's an intersection that combines three main things, which is strategy, experience design, and also economic impact that actually benefits Singapore as a whole. Yeah.
We'll hear more about it later. Yes, Eric.
Yep. Thanks for having me. I'm Eric. I mature to about 1,000 plus event management students in IT College Central. Which means I spend my days juggling the youth energy, teaching them about event skills, and at the same time to tell them that MICE industry is not just about carrying tables. It's more than that. It's more exciting than that. I started out on the ground. Doing front-facing event skills, and eventually I stayed because I got hooked to the human ROI, creating space whereby people get connected, they come to learn, and at the same time itself solving problems together, and that is actually addictive. Thank you.
So you like your soft problems. I'll text you. I'll text you on the problems. Everybody call you Chia. Okay, thank you, Chia. Yes, Miko.
My name is Miko. I'm from iPromo, Powered Kingsman Group. So we produce conference, brand activations, storytelling to make event to life. So basically, how did I end up in the industry? I started with the part-time job to be an usher in the exhibitions. And that's how I got into this exhibition organizer for about 3 years. Then after that, I kind of continued my path in Kingsman. So this is my 15 years. I guess meeting people, talking to people, understand each other, solving the problem is my passion. And that's where it keeps me going in this industry.
Yeah, so I think for myself, when I stay in the industry because it's really the people, right? The people that you meet. And the amazing thing about the MICE industry is when we do events for different industry people. We don't only meet one type of industry people, right? We meet across finance, Bitcoin, we meet like artisans. It's interesting.
Yes, that's where we learned. And we learn from a different industry, we learn from different people. Yeah.
So, I mean, because this is a new way of doing podcasts and we want to feel a little bit more casual and more exciting, we just don't want to ask questions to the trio here. So we're going to play a little activity, okay? Sure. So it's called, the segment is called Green Flag and Red Flag, okay? So I'll read out a scenario that we often hear, and probably like Jia Ying often hear from her friend's side, or okay, won't say that it's within your organization, but outside. And then if you are agreeable to it, you switch out the green flag. Okay, it's not really a flag lah, it's a puzzle. Okay, let me show you. So green puzzle means you agree to it. Red puzzle means ayo, maybe not. So we'll start. Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. Scenario number 1. 3 3 days before the event, and your manager decides to send you a high priority WhatsApp to the team chat group, okay? And this happens at 11:30 p.m., okay? And then asks you for comment. One, if you are green flag is it's part of the job scope. Okay, I respond. Okay. Red flag, if my manager is working so late, am I supposed to work so late also? Yeah, okay, ready? 3, 2, 1. Chop. What is it?
To me, right, you know, when I finish the day, that's where I start to reply emails and all. But I actually told my team, you do not need to respond to my message if it is not urgent. You can leave it until the office hour for the next day. I mean, it's not that I don't want to type it for the next day, but it is, you know, the day will start very early. Like, so for me, the day will start around 8:30. I mean, I feel that the 11:30 is probably the day that the time that I kind of run through everything already. Okay, these are the different messages that I want to send out, or maybe just reminders.
And I do agree, actually, this is actually a trend that you see that the leaders nowadays is really embracing on work-life balance. Really, they're embracing it. And but again, itself, it's really back onto us, right, that we really is passionate about, that we want to reply. So, and indeed, just talking from an educator point of view itself, I did ask my students, and really all of them actually give me the green also. All right, they were saying that indeed, right? Yeah, I was proud of my class. Yeah, so indeed, I think it is again a good leadership, but we do see that nowadays they really also felt the passion about the job, and they want to respond it timely, immediately.
Must be this missing puzzle because sometimes no response. What happened to all the green flags in school?
Let's find out that later when we chat more. Yeah, indeed.
Yeah,
let's find out.
Yeah, you put green.
Put green. Okay, I think adding on to Miko's point, right? If I know that my manager has this respect for me, that okay, actually she has informed me, I do not have to respond after like working hours because she respects me and she wants me to have my own work-life balance. But the more I have that sense of responsibility to just do a check, if it's something urgent, then I will reply. Because to me, sometimes it's not just about the work itself, but it's more of the connection that you have with your reporting officer. You want to be responsible. The reason why I put green, apart from like the reporting officer, I think that when an event, 5 days before the event, usually for me, I'll be more on the toes to see what's really happening or if there's any like urgent changes that needs to be made. I think it's maybe a industry kind of thing or like practices. So hence, I have the green flag here. Yeah, the passion.
That's why 3 of you. No lah, but I think it's also, sometimes I feel like it's okay not to respond. And like you see, you really want to have that mindset and let them have the space. So sometimes even like reply, say, oh, I'll reply you tomorrow. Sorry, I'm out. I think it's a way to just give respect to each other. So it's vice versa, right? Like a junior staff might have also a very urgent thing for you to respond to or to approve. And she also should respect that same safe space. Like you say, after 6 o'clock is a safe space, right? During an interview, a director says, we don't have a set of working hours here. We are family, and we just do whatever it takes. Okay, I know this family word comes out a lot in a lot of other podcasts. Like, should the culture be family, right? So the conflict here is green flag. Oh, it's a flexible working environment. Red flag, lack of professional boundaries. Challenging, right? I know I'm always torn between using the word. Wah! This is the first question that all 3 of you are actually going to say more.
Yeah, I go first. I think we can be a family in terms of the culture-wise, but I think that should be certain form of line in terms of professionalism for employer and employee to draw that line. But of course, it can go beyond the line if, let's say, you have worked with this boss or this team for a particular number of years, or like actually you gain certain form of like chemistry with them already. Of course, then if it's beyond your working hours and in return your employer actually give back in like maybe some form of like benefits or like OT pay, that kind of thing, then I think it's okay. But yeah, I think that should be a certain form of line that has to be drawn. Okay, also because when I actually engage with all the juniors from SIT wise, right, they always ask about salary. I think that's the main question. The second point is, do I have work-life balance? Because they want to explore things of their own apart from career itself. So I think even though career is important to them, but they really don't make it as the top priority. Yeah, like their interests and also their family are their priorities. Yeah, so I think in terms of like retaining talents as well, this maybe could be a point that could be emphasized or looked into when engaging a new batch that is coming up into the industry.
I mean, you mentioned family, but then your thing turned to the red side. What was that? What was that?
Again, it's how I think the word is called professional. Just being professional itself that you really need to draw this line, all right, whereby when it is work and when it is really back at home, all right, and that is actually very important because where am I today itself is also same thing. My family has supported me very strongly, all right. I've shared that with my class 3 months before event I do, one of the big event that I do previously. 3 months before that, I will tell my wife, my kids that you won't get to see me, because I will really have to rush and get my things. I will go home maybe like 2 a.m., 3 a.m., and the next day itself, they were still sleeping. I mean, they will awake and go to school, but I will be still resting before about 9 plus that I leave for work, and I don't really get to see them. Yeah, and I think the support is actually very important. So in this case, it cannot be a case whereby that become my family, because then there's no professional drawn line, and the family that's really at home supporting me, that is important, all right? So to me, it's our boundary is still needed, all right? In the workplace itself, yes, this family, you wanting to groom me, you giving me opportunity, you guiding me itself, this is the right culture. But when work is over itself, I think yes, we will always want to fall back to our family, all right? So the professional line itself is only right, and certainly itself, let's talk about governance, let's talk about where all these things that will fall in place.
I think like when we talk about family, it's when you talk about family earlier in that question, it was about more like a mentor and coaching. But when you can't draw a line between working hours and say that, oh, you're my family, so you continue to work after working hours, then I think that's like a super red flag. Yeah, so I think that's the difference between it, like a mentor, a coach, and bringing you up like someone younger and grooming you. That's not like family. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And then since we're about grooming and mentoring, I mean, I don't know if you have heard before. The first time I heard about it was on Dan Sushan's panel about reverse mentoring. So the scenario here is a 20-year-old intern openly corrects a C-suite executive on the best way to use digital networking platform during a live briefing. Okay, the conflict here, green is it's healthy, it's a flat hierarchy. Okay, red is that 20-year-old lack of professional respect. Okay, Jia Ying thinking like, have I done this before? Wow, everybody very similar. So it's a red flag, like lack of professional respect. Okay. Why? Okay, maybe Miko can start.
I think respect has to be given to, our senior and also the management. It could be raised out at a different scenarios or even at a quieter, moment, but not in the public speaking. Because I feel that your senior or the C-suite personnel, right, will also appreciate this kind of feedback, but not at the public and, yeah.
Yeah.
So, Jia Ying, will you do that?
No.
I think
Respect is like not about hierarchy. It's more of like the timing, the tone that you speak to the other person. Because I always say you can say whatever you want, but it's the way you say it and how you present things to others. Yeah.
Yeah, this is very important. A sentence can be presented in the respectful way and also can be sounded like very, very disrespectful. So it's the yes, it is really the tactics of how you communicate.
But I mean, like in my company, because we are a smaller agency, so but sometimes I do respect them tactfully, like say, hey, actually just now, blah 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 blah. But openly, if you are new to the team, it doesn't show much respect to the team. Then even younger ones will start to crawl overboard, right? And then the whole culture just will become very messy, right? Okay.
Once again, my class mentioned this way.
Oh.
Yeah, my class mentioned this way. Yeah.
Oh, why is it
So to them, it's not really it's nature respect.
Your students think that they not.
They will not.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, basically,
I'm surprised.
They say no. All right, I guess this is a group of students that went for the internship before. They say no. All right, I think basic respect, understanding of environment, the EQ portion of itself, that itself is secure. All right, I think it's not about not being able to voice out,
All right, but again, like what you mentioned, I'm learning to be respected. That I know when to say what and where to say what. All right, and they have that sense of responsibility.
I don't know because looking at me because like wow, we are targeting your students already. How many can you guys ask me some resumes? Because more of us employ the younger gen. I mean I'm an employer, but she too employs for her own team.
Okay, thank you so much for this activity. So maybe y'all can bust me back. I think we want to start with like the current landscape of what the industry is about. So when you think about the mice industry today, I think maybe just from each perspective is what is the biggest challenge around talent, and why does it feel like there's always a puzzle missing? We always feel like whether is it retention or trying to hire, with so many new sectors particularly, you know, there are like industries such as like being a creator or like being in the finance or even like Bitcoin, and it's fast cash, and or what like emerging startups like this, fast moving career paths, is mice where we are all in a still attractive industry for the young professionals, right? So how do we tackle that? When I started, just to give an example, when I started, it was when Zook first started. So nightlife was so great, and that's why you want to join into this exciting industry. Maybe Eric, would you like to start with, do students actually perceive with mice industry as traditional or super high stress? How can we rebrand our industry to show that generation that we are actually high tech, high impact?
Okay, based on what I even gathered from my in my classroom, all right, many of the students still perceive the mice industry as traditional or high stress. Okay, they are. Yeah, in particular, this group that I'm talking to have went for industry attachment before. So when I asked them to word cloud their impression, right, words that pop up was boring, stressful, and tiring. Right? Okay, stressful and tiring. Okay, so to them, the industry feel like it's very, very manpower heavy, and a lot of things is very locked in stone. Right? It's fixed, it's standardized, and they're really, really running around, not much creativity. All right, and that's actually really, to me, is how it's a perception gap that we need to fix it. Okay, really, I think in reality in Singapore, I mean, all of us will agree with me that events is run very differently. Okay, we are running global tech-driven events nowadays. All right, for example, Singapore FinTech Festival. It actually uses AI for matchmaking. You're using real-time data analytics. Events, mega events like upcoming Singapore Air Show or NRF Asia Pacific. Okay, they require complex data, digital workflow, and importantly, sustainability tracking. This to me, is no longer a traditional event back in those days, right? And there's really high-tech operations. So, so how should we actually really rebrand it for our Gen Z? Okay, maybe first up, it's really to show them what is the actual role they are in for. All right, they're in for digital experience designer. All right, okay, they design the digital experience of it. AI assisted planner. All right, yes, I embrace AI. Yeah, and really, sustainability is also the in thing now. All right, they can. And let's step onto their capabilities, their imagination, like how sustainability can be for the future of our mice industry also. Secondly, let's don't just focus. Okay, be honest with the workload. All right, we need to be honest with them with the workload, but let's focus like what I came in for. All right, the human ROI. Okay, they are there for a purpose, and it's really creating space where connections, innovations, okay, and problem solvings happen real time in an event. All right, and they are the movers for this. Let them face it and let them know it. All right? Move away from the narrative whereby we are saying that this event or this industry is tiring, this event is stressful. All right, but let's move it towards to tell them it's tech-enabled, purpose-driven. All right, that is very important, purpose-driven, and we are globally relevant. Okay, because that will be really the mice industry they are going to enter, just that they have yet to see it.
Yeah, that's true actually. I mean, like I always tell when I was teaching also at ITE, I will always tell them, say that actually when they do it, they realize that at the end of the event, the achievement is so great. Like that always like that product launch time, the confetti release, you're like, oh my gosh, my hard work is just like done, you know. The sense of achievement is so high. Yeah, it's not like just submitting a report, but like where everybody come and say, thank you very much, did a great job. Okay, then go back and just lay in bed and like, I did a good job. Yeah, that really like drives me last time also. And I always tell the students that you have to be on the ground. You cannot assume, right? And if you don't put yourself in it, you'll never know. Yeah, so actually Jia Ying, like being the youth and the newly one that joined the industry, when you first considered the MICE career, what did you think it was like, and what's reality? Did you really like it's expected, or?
I would say when I first joined the MICE industry, it was like a 50-50. I kind of have some background in the MICE industry because of my internship, but I know that MICE industry is a very big piece and depends on which side are you standing at, whether you're the client side or the show management event side of things. I think something that never really hit me when I was joining the MICE industry is maybe the long working hours, if I will be very frank. Okay, I mean, apart from running event itself last time, I think it's also about the account management side of things with our partners, especially those that are in the long haul segment as well. When you want to be very accountable to them, then you tend to, respond to them even after work hours or early in the morning, that kind of things. I think nowadays also because speed and efficiency is something that what partners are looking out for. So I think the long working hours is something that kind of hit me after I entered for like a few years. But I think passion actually overrides this thing that I now thought of for me.
Yeah, but I often also hear like, oh, my passion ran out.
Okay, I think I'm very sad for tourism industry since the start. I mean, myself, I love traveling as well. I take note of small little details, touches when I go overseas. So in the tourism industry, I'm in for it. It's just that which part of the pie I'm at, and since I'm MICE, I have not explored fully. So I think, at least of now, I'm safe to say that I think the passion once runs out. And once I'm pretty determined on something, then I would just go full gear on it. Yeah.
In fact, I think this like passion run out or what we are lacking, it may be also in a lot of its industry across. And ultimately, I think we, our educators, as seniors, as mentors in school, I think grit is the word overpowering passion. With grit and just push through, you will see light. Yeah.
I think hiring process, right, it is really very dependent on the candidates itself. So honestly, we are facing a lot of issues. Firstly, right, when you look at fresh grads, the first thing that they will ask, oh, how many days do you allow us to work from home? So this is the number one question that they are posing it to us. Oh, I'm doing events activation. So what if, it falls on the public holidays as well as, weekends? Does it compensate? So to me, I feel that there must be a passion to it. I mean, it's not that a company will ill-treat you or abuse you. You will get the fair share of off in lieu and stuff like that to kind of compensate the days that you kind of work, but you probably can clear the leave later. But I guess this has become like the major questions and concerns. So it kind of trigger me, where are our batch of people? Like when I first started, right, 24 hours setup, I did that without complaining. I mean, yes, I think work-life balance is important, which I'm trying my best, doing my best to really allow my team members not to touch certain weekends and stuff like that. But I'm a workaholic. So I allow myself to work, but I don't allow my team to work. But I just feel that coming out from the first interview, the first point of contact, you listen to this kind of questions, it is a bit like,
Yeah,
wow.
it's a bit disappointing to know that what they're looking out for, it's not the value and not the quality of what the job requires, but rather the numbers, like how many hours, how many work from home days I have, and it's sad lah, but I'm sure it's across industry also. Yeah.
The tangible actually is more than the intangible in terms of the MICE industry that the new fresh grads are looking out for. Yeah.
So let's move on. Well, I mean, we all have back also, I mean, like continuing from the conversation about early career expectations and versus industry realities, right? Well, MICE industry is known to be notoriously all hands on deck, even during on event days. In a world where 70% of professional prioritize work-life balance. We talk about it, and many times Miko was saying about work-life balance. How do we make the on-site grind sustainable for the next generation? And what do young professionals entering MICE today really want? How do they match? How does that match or clash with the industry currently offers? So, for example, like no OT pay, like we were talking about it. Some, I mean, everybody has different packages, right? Some companies have OT pay, some companies don't have. Or whatever they promise, is it too fluffy and then realize that I have to work longer hours? So maybe to all, can you share some examples of mismatched expectations in action?
Since I handle a big group of youth, so what they do not reject is actually hard work. They accept it, all right? But what they reject is unexplained hard work. All right, so they do not know, why am I doing it? Why do I need to stay? And that could also be a time that, even for me, sometimes I fall into this trap that, hey, my time was like that, why must I explain to you? All right, but I think maybe from the Gen Z that generation that we're looking at, they really have a lot much more information coming to them, be it from social media or from whatever TikTok and this post, that post. And then, so again itself, they are, they are really out to find an answer. So again, so they do not reject hard work, but they reject unexplained hard work. And when they do not reject hard work, but they reject unexplained hard work. Yes. All right. So again, back to the thing then itself is that when expectation is clear, okay, they know what they need to do. Support is consistent. This is still a need. All right. They will need the support against some of their junior. All right. Support is consistent. And when leaders, all right, like us, communicate well, right? I think communication is important, and that's when they could rise to the challenge. They're ready to take it on. They will do it well. All right, yes, 24 hours, 48 hours. Yes, I'm doing it because I'm doing it with a purpose. All right, purpose-driven in this case. And another one that some of the times that I hear out from my youth itself is again that, all right, messy. All right, why everything is so unstructured? So again, some of them actually went out. Again, some of them have been, at least for me, they've been with me in a structured environment for the past 18 years, 19 years. Okay, but when they step into the workforce, they would think that it's going to be structured. All right, and when they face uncertainties, ambiguity, so and that's where literally they fall back and they got shocked, and I do not know how to react. So again itself, it's really again communication, give and take, understanding of situation, which was also one of the questions that maybe I'll boil it back to you that, right, fine, they come in, they ask certain questions, which to us, all right, yes, okay, how can your first interview, you're asking me like, when is my off day, or what is my working hours, all right? Could it really also be a case by, because they're fresh, they have not get the adrenaline, like what we said, all right, okay, oh, the show finally started, the confetti go off.
I'm gonna like ask this question, not on script, because you brought out structured and they come into the industry, they are overwhelmed by the unstructured setting. Is it an educational side of problem? Okay, I don't know, like somebody's gonna like put up comments. But I think it's true. You know how a lot, I mean, like people are always saying that our schools are so structured, and hence when they come out to the workforce, they don't know where to start. But then bosses and managers, we're so busy with our own thing already. I really don't have time to tell you A, B, C, D. I expect you to already learn it from school. And that's where maybe that is the missing puzzle that like school gives you. Teachers are so motherly and fatherly, right? I mean, that's a great thing because you're so nurturing and you handhold them so tightly. But when they come to the workforce, You meet different kind of people. There's no mother, father. We don't talk about family, right? It's not a family, okay? It's a working culture. It's a working environment, and everybody is fighting for the same job or like same promotion, let's say in a bigger organization. So do you think it's because our education is too structured? Sure. You need to let go.
Okay, so disclaimer, my personal point of view, also a father of two girls at home, all right, we need it to be structured, all right, we need to be structured because there is grading, there's assessment, we need to be fair, all right, when it's not structured, it cannot be, oh, today, okay, I like you, I give you an A. It cannot be that way, all right, because again itself, we need our system to be able to shine. We need our grades, our results, or in this case, their certification to be recognized worldwide. Okay, that they can go around with it, they can find job, all right, and that's really our purpose, right? When you get a cert, all right, when I go to I promote, sorry, all right, to look for a job, and you will actually realize that okay, that is structured when. Hey, your teacher is Eric, I give you A, I believe that Eric know that you are A quality. And not, all right, that day Eric woke up happy that you have A. So in this case, the education system need to be structured, there need to be a system in place. Now, with regards to hand-holding, all right, I would say really, in particular for IT itself, we do not hand-hold, all right? That is event modules, all right, they are really thrown out to do. All right, so take again, for example, my class, we actually partner with MSF, SPF, in a roadshow called Domestic Awareness Roadshow. All right, so my students, all right, they will talk directly to the police, to the social worker on the requirements. And for us itself, okay, my role, okay, is really to mentor that they are on track. So for me itself, I would not say that, all right, I would really say that, okay, I know that it's going to be a trip line there, okay, but I will let them walk towards it. Right? But of course, I won't make sure they won't injured. But again, that is a lesson learned that is within boundary. Okay? So we do not really handhold, and even to some of the practical assessment, which if my ex-students again listen to me, all right? So like I was sharing how we actually do digital event management. So we bring in scenario contingencies in. I will literally go there and tell them that, all right, the speaker left halfway, or the speaker is late, react. All right, so we do bring in scenario, okay? Again, it's all to a certain extent fine. They will say, sure, all right, then fine, okay. All right, we have to move on, all right, if not, yeah, all right, fine. There will be such a situation. I won't totally deny that itself, but as far as possible, all right, I think when they are into higher level education itself, okay, for us as educators, we know that we're going to train them ready for the industry. We do really enforce on the certain things that what the industry is doing, and you must be ready for it. Yeah. So internship is also something I do very strongly with them, that I will really talk to them and tell them that, hey, it's going to be like that. All right, how can you be late for school? All right, in the future itself, when you're late for a company, what happened next? Okay, is this the way you talk? All right, so again, some of those are life skills that we do bring out in schools and to share to students itself. Yeah.
Miko or Jia Ying, about mismatch expectation in action.
From personal point of view, yeah, and also I mean based on stories that I've heard from like juniors and those have done internship before, I think it's the uncertainty that about the industry that they don't sometimes have the courage to step into it. Okay, so for example, you know, on paper we write all the rainbows and fluffy clouds, but after actually they enter into the workforce and when they are really hands-on onto something, it actually differs from what is being shared with them on paper or in class. So I told them it's workplace is always a society school. You learn,
Yes.
you fall, you cry, you experience the worst through working. You don't expect hand-holding anymore and constant guidance from like teachers as well, which actually links back to your point. And I told them that internship is just a very small part of what you're going through in the society. Yeah, you are intern for a reason because you are being guided. Yeah, but when you are stepping into the workforce, then you experience all the real things that you have never experienced before in school.
Okay, I have one point to raise. I'm not sure how relevant this to this. I realized that the younger generation, or rather interns or fresh grads, right, they have this problem, communication.
Agreed.
I think they can learn a lot in school in the structured, unstructured, whatever ways. But when it comes to communication with people, with upper management, levels to the colleagues, they are struggling. I'm not sure why.
Is it communications or confidence?
I think it's how you communicate with the different levels. Like, for example, to the supervisors. I don't know why they have this kind of fear.
Lack of confidence to speak up to stakeholders.
It's a society issue whereby they are just always talking to the phone.
Texting.
That's the thing, all right? So same to a good extent itself, besides talking about really physically talking itself, all right? They can't write proper email anymore because messages just reply that, okay, that's it. Okay, but when you look at a formal email, you go back,
I
you have
wanted
to
to
acknowledge.
say, there's a lot of short forms. I cannot understand. Sometimes I ask the question in the group chat. Oh, don't be such a boomer.
Google is still our good friend.
No,
Tell me about it, man.
Sometimes I can Google it.
Yeah.
I just, can you explain what is this?
Yeah.
I feel that effective communication, it is still very essential, especially if we are dealing with people. Firstly, if you cannot communicate within the internal, with your supervisor, your colleagues, your whoever, then how do you go out to communicate to present your proposal? Then next level, external stakeholders.
Yep.
This person, right, or the new generation in the fresh grads, they will struggle.
Indeed. Really, you see that. We are aware of that.
I feel it's that the bigger problem is not communication, it's confidence. Okay, maybe we can still on this, right? If you can give one word of advice to your younger self, and this advice goes out to the youth that is joining the industry, what is that one word of advice to your younger self when you entered the MICE industry? What would it be today? Wow.
Find your passion.
You would tell yourself then, find your passion. And that passion is still here?
Yes.
Okay.
And I feel that passion is really something that it will drive you. It's not just for the money. I will go extra miles for my clients, and a lot of times my clients become all my friends. I cannot really, there is no line between my work and life already. I can tell you. I'm at this stage that, sometimes when I'm texting, I realize, it's my industry friends. Yeah. I enjoy. And that brings back to the passion and also people that I enjoy.
Yeah, so I've heard of it called not work-life balance, but work-life integration, right? It's holistic. It's part of you. If you keep seeing it as, okay, work is work, life is life, work is work, my life is life, then when it crosses that line, it becomes, I'm so tired. I have to work at 7 p.m. Then you feel very frustrated, right? Eric, what's your...
For me, if I could give my younger self one word, I think that would be pace. All right, and against for pacing. All right, I think all of us know that. I think in the workforce, when events get near, all right, events really will take away all our energy, all right, and really need to how to run and slow down and run and so on, all right, and really to make burnout not part of our job, all right, and we need to pace. Right, I think really passion. All right, when I was young, really with a lot of energy. Yes, all right, run. But again, let's don't get burned out. All right, because you want the passion, the fire to continue to be burning. All right, I think it is important to pace yourself out.
Yeah, it's called life is a marathon. It's not a sprint, right? You sprint, then you take longer time to rest. By the time you rest, the opportunity nail lah. So if you slowly marathon, you slowly run and slowly pick up the little gold chips along the way, and at the end you get a very big pot, right? Jia Ying, what's your?
I would say clarity. I think it's important to know what you want, what you are going after, because I think it's very common to see people going into the respective jobs and then maybe changing very fast, very quickly. Because I always believe in one quote that I have for myself is like, enthusiasm is very common, but your endurance in that specific job industry is very rare. So what if you enter industry, a job that you want already? Okay, then the ugly side of things starts to come out. Are you going to continue to endure, or are you going to give up and go into another industry that lets you see the bright side of things? So I think clarity is very important in terms of what you are going after and have things planned out.
About this question, I also ask myself, wow, so many years already. And I also run a business myself. And then a lot of people ask me, I don't know how you run your business for so long. And then the word came perseverance, right? Similar to yours, right? It's perseverance. And to be honest, and when I was younger, I also keep changing jobs. But then end up try all these kind of things. So I think I would tell myself, remember first love. Because your first love is always the one that my husband's gonna kill me. The first love is always somewhere inside of you that makes you have that passion and drive. It's not that I must clarify, but my husband, please, you are still my love, but first love sometimes is always lingering there. First love for the career, first love for career. Okay. Thanks so much for sharing your insights today. I hope this conversation really has helped everyone, whether you are a student or whether you are from the industry or whether you are an employer and entrepreneur like me. We hope that you found some answer, but I think this puzzle we'll continue to find, but I don't think we should see it as a negative way, but it's just about exploring and expanding our network to the young, to the veterans, and to the education side. Once again, thank you, Jia Ying, Eric, and Miko for joining us. So if you enjoyed this episode, can you please like, share, and subscribe to our channel? This is our very first episode and Sasho's first podcast, so we really hope everybody would support us. But also, if you're out of the industry, we hope that these content will actually be of use to you. So, but if also you have some thoughts about what we should be discussing from the MICE industry perspective, drop us a comment below on what topics we should share. But otherwise, we hope to see you in the next episode. Thank you.
7.
7 years ago, 6, 7. Oh, wait, I was just asking them. 6, 7 is not in anymore. What is 6, 7? You know 6, 7 is where, right?
Yeah.
You Gen Z, right? Ah, because you got Gen L.
这个就是什么？
6, 7.
我学生没跟我讲这个。
6, 7. Ah, you got 6, 7. 6, 7, it started in a soccer or like in a match, and basically a soccer guy, he did this. The result was 6, 7, then he was 6, 7. Then the whole crowd started saying 6, 7. So whenever you see anything 6, 7, you will say.
There is no really wrong.
There's no.
It doesn't represent.
But according to the check now, you can't use 6, 7 anymore because these put 6, 7.
What is this?
Then now, what is this?
Now what is this?
8, 9.
Serious?
Serious? 6, 7, 8, 9.
Hey, I'll try that back on Monday.